Good morning, everybody. It's Marty, the JavaScript party, and my buddy Brett here. And it is Sunday fun day. Probably my second favorite day of the week. It's tough. Friday's pretty fun too. Like Friday a lot, like Sunday a lot. Um, so I definitely have a favorite that I like. Man, I don't even tell you. Like I feel like I looked up and I just saw these emojis inside of these comments here, and it brought me so much happiness. Like inside I had this sort of little feeling of happiness, and I guess maybe that's sort of I don't know, for want of, I mean, it's just like sometimes words are kind of weird, but like it just makes me feel like I'm in an environment, a very healthy, friendly environment, and I am, because I'm in my office at my house with my bird back behind me. Speaking of that, here is her nut. It should be it's a walnut. It should be it's loose. I loosened it, but I didn't break it. So I'm gonna put it over here so that if she wants it, she has to go into the camera, because she's being a little camera shy at the moment. Um, There she goes. Good job, Brett. I feel like my camera might be a little bit. There we go. Dirty. So here we go. It is Sunday. It is 12:26, which seems very late for me, but normally I'll do these videos and then I'll run and take the dogs to the park and stuff like that. But today I already have my run in. I ran 1.5 miles in 14 minutes, so that was good. I used to run pretty much like a 7-minute pace, so that would have been like a 10-minute run. Now it's more of a 15-minute run. But like I just had a knee injury just sort of come out of nowhere. I'd run for decades. I mean, literally for decades. And that, but it is 72 degrees out right now, and then yeah, it's supposed to rain for the next 2 days. Hopefully, I could still do that. All right, so let's see if this is up, and let's see. Oh, I thought it wasn't running. I thought like it didn't. And it seems to work. So. Alright, so what we are doing now is, I guess I don't remember if I finished up going through making sure this can be a code commit. Like when I first started this project, I was like, I don't want to do a commit unless I have the code, the unit tests, and the end-to-end tests all squared away. But I did finally change that because it just got to where I ended up with so much code. Right now I'm just looking for like any obvious code smells, like stuff just basic stuff, nothing. I'm not like trying to do testing or anything. I just want to make sure I'm not committing anything silly. Okay, so we do want to we probably want to just get rid of this whole console log. We have a comment and all of that. It's been cool. So for the first time, I put it into a PR that I just have a basic class it's not an injectable. So it's not like a for root injectable class, and we have thousands, probably thousands of files, and then nobody has ever done that yet. I think there's such a huge advantage to doing that, but it wouldn't surprise me if it gets kind of pushed back in PR. I mean, it won't upset me or anything, but you just can't give up on trying to get better all the time. And I do think that having classes that are not in the injection tree lowers your chance of future problems that just don't. It's kind of like they have a lot of times when you play sports and stuff, and then like something like just works out for you. A lot of people I haven't actually heard this in years, but people used to always say, "Oh, that's just clean living," which is just another way of saying that's like like just sort of the things you do sort of can kind of affect whether you're lucky or not. Like things that would have been delete geometry ID. Okay, yeah, so this needs to come in. This needs to come in. And actually, I don't want to actually commit those. I want those to stay uncommitted so I don't forget them. So I have these 4. So I don't. So that changes my whole approach. Okay, so right now I'm going to add. A lot of times I like to just be able to do get space add space dot and just add everything. I would say 4 out of 5 times I do it that way. But every once in a while I'll have something that I have and I want to keep it, but I don't want to commit it. Like I just want to have it locally, and that's what those 4 files with those comments are. Like I just don't want to forget to do that at the end, and I think it's gonna be really simple to do. Like there's sometimes where you just kind of kick the can down the road because you're just like, ugh, it's so complicated and it's gonna get. But sometimes you go, okay, I can't kick the can down the road because if I kick the can down the road, when I get down the road, it's actually gonna be a lot more complicated to try to figure out. You know, I would like what I was doing, like mentally visualizing how that works. It's like imagine you have like a little task you have to take care of, and in that little task but you're next to a road, and so you're sort of on a road that nobody's using, and so so you can just sit there and work on it. But if you kick it down the road at all, there's cars down there, and now you're going to be trying to do it while you're dodging cars. That I think is a perfect example of the kind of tech debt that you do not want. You don't want the debt that's just going to that's in the middle of a bunch of traffic that's going to, all kinds of people are going to be working on, and it's just going to get more complicated as that flaw just gets baked in the system. But then, like, adding a delete function here in this with the ThreeJS stuff is not going to be any harder as time goes on, because you just delete it. You just wherever you're deleting a geometry, you just delete that. And I do think that I want, at this point in time, and this could change, I don't know exactly how confident I am, but at this point in time, I want my I don't think I'll ever have 2 ST objects pointed at the same ThreeJS object. So that is easy. But I definitely think there'll be multiple ThreeJS objects for a single ST object. ST. So if I go, and even, okay, yeah, even at that. But see, the thing is, I don't even think my data structure won't support that anyways. Because right now the way it's a dictionary, so the way it works is every ID has one value. So if I were to change it, what I could do, and we're just thinking because this is kind of a fun time to think about stuff like this, we could go to this definition and we could change this to, instead of a ID, we could say that this is an array of 3 box geometries. Right, we could do that. And then there could be more than one ID, and then and actually then that would be super simple, right? Because then when you delete the ID, you also delete all your references to those geometries as well. So, but I'm sure there'll be some complexities that come along. So I have everything committed. So I'm going to say git status just to make sure that, yeah, so this is, I've never seen, like I hit a git status, I've never seen this not be right. Well, I guess that's not true. I have seen things be kind of weird because you're in the wrong URL or wrong folder or something in git, and then you try to do these commands, git commit -m, and I think I say the issue 28 code commit. I feel like I put those in. Let me see. Let's go to GitHub and like a big part of me says, just push through. It'll be all right. It's all going to work itself out. But I think it's actually important to stay kind of committed here. I think there's like a history. Merge pull request. Yeah, that's weird. Okay, I don't even know what to do with that. Where's my history? What is this? Branches. Oh, okay, this is actually what I'm working on. I guess maybe I pushed some stuff. I don't know. Oh, we have this re-architect animations. Ooh, I think I must have been in the middle of something. Anyways, okay, let's go to main. See if I can, from here, if I can see the history. Why can't I see the history? What am I missing here? And then there's tags, and then there's this. I'm very confused. Fine. We'll do it from here. Bye. Add one of these. And we'll type a git log. Alright. Video. Okay, so I put that. The video number, the issue number, and some comment. But I guess I used to put like code commit or something in there. There's merges. Okay, partial code. Okay, so yeah, that's what I did. I say, okay, video, what the video is. So let me go figure out what that's going to be. Space and time video 467. All right. Video 4. Four, 6, 7. And I think I do also put the issue. Oh, then I say partial code, and then I say issue 28, and then what it does. And it is partial code. It is not all the code. Did I have that in parens? Oh, we did not have a dash. What are you doing? So click in here. Okay, so we did not have a dash. So we had like this and this. Okay, code. I don't know why I said code. Oh, okay, yeah, that was what I had instead of partial code. And then implements and delete of various ST objects. I think that is good. It's going to be interesting to go back and figure out what in the world this other pull request that I have out there, or pull, I don't have any pull requests. I guess what I have a branch that has not been merged. Oh wait, this is the history. So we grab it. There we go. That's what I was looking for. Try to remember that next time. I think we are done with GitHub at the moment, though. All right, so now that we have this stuff committed, I'm not going to push it, although I do not really foresee myself doing this wrong. Undoing that commit, I think that's a good commit, but so git, not prep, npm run test. Because now that we did our commit, we want to run the unit tests. And there's like sort of three parts of this. One is like, did we break any existing tests, and to such a bad degree that it won't even transpile. That is very possible. It's very, very possible that we are trying to run functions in some of our unit tests that don't even exist anymore, like we deleted them. Which used to kind of be the life. Like anytime you were gonna remove like a function or something, first thing you had to do is like a very thorough analysis of that function wasn't being used anywhere. But we don't really usually do that anymore because the transpiler catches it. But we used to find it also in the unit test, so we'd have some sort of take on what was going to happen with the unit tests. But we'd be like, oh, okay, this is coming or whatever. Or sometimes you could even fix it in the unit test. Like, oh, okay, we had a function, but we're changing it. And we're going to change the name. And we're going to change its arguments, but it does the same thing or something like that. And I guess that whole process was pretty good because you would many times realize, oh man, no, this thing was doing more than I thought because there was a unit test for this. Here we go. It looks like everything transpiled, so that was good. It wouldn't surprise me at all if everything would have transpiled, and the reason is because I'm pretty sure we did rename and delete some functions. Now the main goal that we have is we always want 100% coverage, just for fun, really more than anything. Okay, so we have 7 failed unit tests. It kind of seems like they might be all in the same function. Injector has already been destroyed. Not quite. Okay, so this is 3 animation class. And it is at injector, animation TS, animation service TS, 3 animation class TS. There's an array. Okay, so. I guess we want to look, I don't know, it's weird that, what if we click on that? Alright, so it just ran, I guess these 7 failed ones, I guess that's what happened. Spec list. Okay, so this is a 3 animation class spec list. So let's come in here. Let's go ahead and close everything except for this, please. No, let's just close all. Alright. So 3 animation. It's weird. It's usually not this hard to find what we're looking at. 7 specs. Oh, so there were 7 specs, only 1 failed. Okay, 3 animations should create a property for animation. So let's try to find that text in my code. I don't think it'll be that hard to find. There we go. All right, so now I believe we can just say like F describe here, and then we can hit save. And we can hit back. Yeah, and then it'll rerun everything, but it didn't. Okay, so it did not pick up that it reran everything. So I think we need to kill this. I'm really hoping to be able to get all of these done today, like the unit testing done. But let's see if we can scroll up if it gives us a percentage. Because even if it failed, it should still give a percentage. I wonder, let's go here. We got to open one of these, and then we got to go. We're just waiting for the unit test system to get up and running. And let's see, let's go to coverage. Let's go to index.html. I wish there was a way you could tell the date. Like it'd be nice to. Oh, that's interesting. So it did update it, but like since I guess there are failed ones, it's not generating the actual report. All right, what do we got going here now? Okay, so it only tried to run those. It skipped everything else. All right, so then generally what I'll do at this point is I'll start to like, let's just, I think we could put an F on this, F, and then, I don't know, hopefully it picks it up. Because we only want to try to run the very first one right now. Yeah, so the first one was fine. Didn't have any problem with that. Let's see if I can make this smaller. And smaller. All right, let's try the second one. Save. And you could like start trying to understand everything. Right now it just is not worth it. Okay, so it did run 2. So I just never know why Karma Jasmine, and I don't know if it's Karma or Jasmine or what the deal is, but I don't know why they control F, control S. I don't know if it's Karma or Jasmine or what the problem is, but sometimes it picks up changes and sometimes it doesn't. I don't really know the rhyme or reason to it. And there are a lot of people that like somehow get convinced at some point that you can just like understand everything. You can be like, oh, I totally understand how everything works. And it's just not like that. I'm curious if this is generate a good report now. Yeah. So I think it's this one, right? 3 animation spec. In this class, I believe this is the one we're working on. All right. Here we go. Good there. So that one's good, and it should update all animations for a renderer. So here's where things went sideways. So let's remove this. Let's just see if we have a problem down here too. It wouldn't surprise me either way. If we don't have a problem, it wouldn't surprise me. If we do have a problem, it wouldn't surprise me. So, I mean, honestly, okay, so we have a problem in both of these. All right. So now what I want to do is just get rid of all of the rest of these up here and just focus on the one. I generally, honestly, I don't have even the vaguest idea what might be messed up here. I definitely could talk about it. We could have like a fun conversation about it, but I don't. Yeah, let's do that. So it looked like there was 2 failures, even though before it was telling us there was only 1. Okay, it doesn't seem like it picked it up. See, like, that's weird, right? Before I would hit save and it would update automatically, and now it's not. Well, it kind of looked like something might have happened. It was just slow. All right, so we have this one. So let's try this. Expect the number. Well, let's just comment this out and see. Sometimes it's like a compiling thing, and sometimes it's like a the expectation is wrong. So it's definitely a compiling thing. Okay, so looks like we run this animation function. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's see. Okay, so it failed to run the animation function. Let's do this and see if we have a problem here. Okay. Let's do this. Get renderer by ID. Right. So just getting a renderer from, or getting a base renderer is breaking. Okay, so getting a base renderer is breaking. And it's upset because it says the injector has already been destroyed. Okay, so we're trying to get a base renderer, but there's no injector apparently. So then, like, before we dive in, it's just like you kind of have to think, okay, is that right? Like, am I trying to, like, is getting a renderer from the renderer service, getting a base renderer? And what's weird is, like, this isn't throwing a, I don't think this is throwing a, oh no, that one is too. That's right. It's this one that isn't. Okay, so apparently when we go on the renderer service and we try to get a base renderer, something breaks. Again, it's probably better to, at this point, to, we are in the, okay, so we're in the animation class, and now the animation class spec, and what are we trying to do? We're trying to get an animation function. Okay, so I guess what maybe the next thing to do is, like, and I've never tried this before, but I'm going to take the ones and ignore them, right? And I think you can put an X in front of the one. Oh, but if I put in, yeah, I'll put an X. I believe you can put an X in front of here, and it'll skip these two. And these are the two that I can't figure out. Okay, should I try to dig into my existing test and try to figure out how to fix it, or should I exclude the failing ones and then see what my coverage is and see how to get back up to the coverage that I want? Okay, so everybody passed, and we have, because my only goal at this point is to get 100% coverage on this, and to make sure that every time I look at a line of code, it makes sense. Okay, so we want to call this update animation for renderer, and we do create a renderer service. And we have to pass it in the renderer service, the scene service, the mesh service, the animation service, and the actual 3 renderer service. But, okay, it's not dying. It's dying when we try to get a renderer. Why do I need a renderer, though? Because we don't even throw it. Okay, so there's a couple things going on. Okay, so update renderer is not getting called. We want to call update renderer. Update animations for renderers. Control F, update. Okay, so we are never calling that at all. Oh, there it is. Yeah, update animations for render. So we're trying to call it here, and we're trying to give it. Okay, so to do this, oh wait, do we need that? Oh, we actually do need a renderer. So, okay, so for some reason we cannot call this function right now, and it's saying, okay, all right, so F. I'm going to make that a focus so that we only work on this one, and then we start to dig in. I think this is going to be really interesting, and we're going to go to base render, better definition, can I go there? Get base render, yes. All right, so is it, okay, so let's just do this. What do we return from this? We return a number. Okay, so we can actually comment everything out but this guy. And that should be fine. And we should not have any errors. Oh, we do. Cannot read property of st scene ID. What? Did I not? I think I must not have. Okay. So the other thing is we were doing this. We're commenting this out. And then say expect. This is not going at all like I was hoping today would go. So 1, 2 equal 1. Okay, so does that pass? Okay, so now we're going to take this and we're going to try to get a renderer ID. Now this has been failing, but we gutted the whole function, so the function literally doesn't do anything. Okay, so now let's just slowly start to return stuff. So the renderer service, this renderer service, great renderer. Okay, so this is getting the ThreeJS renderer service. So I was like, aren't we in the renderer service? Can I create a new renderer with the renderer ID that I just got? Yes, that seems to be a problem. Now, it's weird because I am seeing this injector already destroyed. Oh, I think it's because it's not auto updating. Okay, it's much better. All right, so now can we get an actual ThreeJS renderer? All right, so that's good. And now we know we can do these assignments. There's no way that's a problem. I mean, I've seen weirder things, but I'm pretty sure. Now, we want to create a base camera. Now we want to get an ST camera. So that's good. And we are going to get a scene. From the scene service, we're going to get a scene. And I don't quite have my head wrapped around exactly when in this specific scenario, when these scenes and all that end up getting created. I figure if I can create a base scene, I could probably get a scene by an ID. And then I should be able to do this assignment without any problems. And then that's where we end up creating a renderer, an actual renderer. Okay, and then here's where we end up creating a render function. Okay, so then that ends up calling this thing, and it passes everything. It passes all these things that has already been used. And we might actually be knocking on the door of what, like, the downside of these classes that that access the injector are. You know, that could be it. All right, so we have our function, and now we try to run. No, do we try to run it? Okay, so at this point, when we run this render service, I get this injector has already been destroyed. function. Okay, so all that's doing is setting the function ID. It's not even running it, it's just setting it. Okay, so I'm going to comment that out and we'll bring this one in because that still should be fine. So I think it's just that one line of code. Set this render. I'm wondering if I have to pass the injector in with it, which, you know, like, definitely not something I'm down with. And I really thought that these unit tests were going to be like super simple. We have definitely run into some kind of weird thing. All right, so it's this one line of code. We're calling this renderer service, and we're setting the animation function for stid. And I'm guessing that function probably returns a Boolean. All right, set animation function for ID. So we know we have our problem in here. Again, I don't really. Okay, this get render ID and set animation loop. So let's see if we can do this, because all that's doing is getting a get render by ID. So that should be okay. Okay, that's fine. But it's when I set the animation loop. Should we get that again? Yeah. Okay, so now let's go to our renderer set animation loop. All right, so it looks like we are no longer in our code. We are in this WebGL renderer code. So we have left we've left that, and now it's our function, right? So I wonder. Looks like all I have to have is a function that returns nothing. So const fun func equals. Can I do that? And I'm starting to think, here's my guess. I found this first time I've even had, like this whole time I've just been working towards trying to get to a point where I can understand what the problem is. I still don't quite understand what the problem is, but I think that when it's trying to run in the animation loop, so there's a thing called animation loop that causes the page to just keep uploading over and over again. This is a browser thing. It's nothing to do. Like, it's not something that's implemented in Angular or in ThreeJS. It's like a browser thing. And so about 60 times a second it attempts to update. And you can give it a function to run. So what I'm wondering is if I can just pass it a function. And I did not pass it the actual function. So I'm just going to wait for this to fail. I don't know why. Okay, let's do this. Sometimes, yeah, like I said, sometimes this thing will update. And sometimes it doesn't. Okay, so when I pass it, and see now it's just running hello over and over again, which makes sense, right? Because 60 times a second it's getting this thing. Okay, so it's something inside of the function. And the big question is this like something that like I don't think that my 3 animation class spec actually could care less about this function running properly in the animation frame, right? Like that's just not even part of what it does. So what I need to do is in that function that I passed in, which was created, let's hit back, right here, renderer function. This function, I probably need to this three animation class create animations functions for renderer. So let's go over here, go to this definition. All right, so basically this update renderer, so it's upset because it's saying in this function something on this update animations for renderer, it's passing in these three things, all of these things, right? So this is the function that it's creating me. So I'm going to do basically something kind of similar to what I did before, and I'm just going to update this function to not really do anything and see if the problem goes away or if it's inside that other part. Because I'm like, this is not even at all related to what I was working on. So, and that happens all the time. You break things that aren't even close to related. And then this isn't even actually breaking anything, I don't think. I think it's just the unit test is not happy. So, log hello. Now I'm hoping that this is fine. Hello world. So we can kind of make sure that it's not the same as what we were looking at before. It's got 3 L's and a world. I'm hoping that that works and that there's something inside of this update animations for renderer. And maybe I'm hoping I can add some code to say, hey, if the injector exists or whatever, do it or something. But just like, I don't know, something's a little different where it looks like the memory gets modified. Okay, I don't think that ran. Okay, yeah, so we have our new thing. It's perfectly happy to get a function. It just doesn't like this function. And this function, I don't think is at all anything that I'm working on right now. So, and it looks like it's in this actual, so this animation renderer. That's this function here is messing up. So what I want to do now is save this, and it should break again. So I'm waiting for the breakage. And then once I do that, start commenting out code and see. Hopefully I can, all I'm doing in this function now is assigning a value and returning it. That's it, literally. So we'll see if anything breaks in here. Everything was happy in there, it looks like to me. So now let's undo this line of code. And then sometimes you can actually most of the time you can get it working, right? But you don't quite understand what's going on, but it kind of makes sense to you. And when that happens, you're in sort of a dangerous spot because you're at a spot where you might get obsessed on something that's useless and has no value, or you could be ignoring something that's incredibly important, and it is so hard to know the difference. All right, okay, so I'm going to undo this one because I don't think, yeah, this is not dependent on this. I don't even know what this does. This update animations for mesh IDs. And it gives it the mesh ID and the service. So let's see if we can do this. Renderer, st renderer. I felt like my guess was that this is our problem. I have no idea why too. Now that I think about it, it feels like there's just as much of a chance of this being messed up. All right, so then at this point, something is going bad. And it's a weird bug because it's only a unit test bug. It's not a bug. So yeah, at that point, for some reason, something is wrong. And I feel like, Like I'm past, okay, this update animations, I guess we should go into there too. I kind of feel like I should just check to see, because maybe these don't exist anymore or something like that. And so if they're nulls, just skip it or something like that. But go to definition. Go to definition. All right. And again, and see, man, okay, so this is the first time I've ever experienced this, but this is so nice that like literally all it does is that it actually does something and returns something, because then you can just comment everything out in the middle. Oh, and I did see that it was complaining inside of a for loop. All right. I don't think it ran. Reload. Okay, so it's happy again. All right, so let's see if we can just like for loop over it. All right, so basically we're just gonna, it's so weird, iterate over each ID. Let me hit Control C. Okay. All right, so this just returns a number. No, this takes a number. Okay, so now we're going to just comment both of these out. Again, you got, like, you can't figure, you could just, it's crazy. This is a rabbit hole that could just be a disaster, or it could just be, like, it could be something we can fix and not understand. It could be something that we can fix and spend months trying to understand it. It's just really hard to know what to do. And I just don't know exactly what's broken. It looks like it's this update animations for 3Mesh. Oh, looks like we just hit it. Now updated is equal to, does it need the animations? Yeah, it needs actually the animations. All right, so let's see what happens though. Can I do this? And then just say const st animations and just give it an empty array and see if that's, oh, darn it. Okay, and so that is not the problem. I don't think. It seems like the problem is actually this. Alright, so I can do this, I can comment this out, and I will still have the same issue. Yeah. So now this is get st animations for mesh ID. And a lot of times I kind of treat this sort of what's happening right now as like my, okay, this is the first sort of glimmer of some kind of weird bug that's sort of floating around out there. Because a lot of times unit tests will sort of give you like the smoke before the fire. But okay, so now, see, this is so, okay, I am absolutely a strong proponent of having input and ending with an output and doing stuff in the middle, because it's so nice to be able to just comment out the stuff in the middle. And where are we now? We are in an st animation service. Okay, is it? I don't think it ran. I'm not sure. It feels like it didn't run. Okay, yeah, I really expected that to work. Okay, so this is actually something that looks like, so this is a time deferred dependency. Okay, so so we are running into our deferred dependency injections. This doesn't surprise. I mean, this doesn't surprise me. I wasn't expecting this, but it doesn't surprise me. So that falls into that category of. Okay, so it died here. When I went to go get the animation service, and it says that the injector has already been destroyed. And just calling it breaks. So it looks like this is probably where I need to add some code. And if you remember correctly, we already have like 5 sort of duplicate. Like I was like, the dry, blah, 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 blah. Well, here's the downside, right? I have 5, I think 4 or 5 of these classes that kind of use this mechanism, and it's not working in unit tests. And whatever code I write to sort of guard against this problem. So go to definition. And this is something I've never ever done before, but it's just saying. See, I had, like before, it kind of talked me out of, ChatGPT talked me out of it, but I did have some code that was like saying, if not injector or whatever. Yeah, I used to have some kind of code that would handle this. Okay, so this will, for now, I'm just going to add this. I don't know, this is clearly a Band-Aid. Okay. And then I'm going to say const st mesh service. And that can be a st mesh service, but it could also be undefined. And I'm going to initialize it to undefined. And then I'm going to say if injector. So if the injector exists, so because I think what it's saying is it's gone. The injector's been destroyed at this point. See, the injector has already been destroyed. See, what I don't know is is the injector yeah, let's just do this. We're gonna have to play around with this a little bit. I think. I'm not sure, but I don't know if this is good enough. And then that can't be a const, that has to be a let. Because we want to overwrite it now with a whole new memory address. St mesh service. Like most of the time it works really, it's ideal to think of these things as like, oh, I'm assigning this object to some value or something. But every once in a while it really makes a lot of sense to think of it more as a memory address. Okay, so this is a memory address of undefined, which I believe there is a specific memory address set aside for undefined. And now I'm saying, okay, this is a memory address for st mesh service and all that. So I don't know if this is going to fix this problem or not. Now, const. I don't know what's happening here. Line 70, okay. Oh, okay, I see. And then I'm saying that over here, I need to tell it that it might also get an undefined back. And we're not using it, so it should be fine. And I'm so glad that I had these icons, if I'm being completely honest, because when because I immediately realized, oh, this is new code. This is new code that I'm working on, because I saw the icons. Now, it might only be a one-time benefit because I just started using icons. Okay, so we only want to do the rest of this stuff if the mesh service exists. Now, I would be terrified to do this if we didn't have all our other end-to-end tests. So if this breaks something, then the end test, in our other end-to-end test. If it's not in our other end-to-end test, and this is one of those crazy things that may or may not stay with me over time, but at the moment I'm thinking if it's not in the end-to-end test, it doesn't exist. It only exists if it was. So if it exists, so basically I'm saying, hey, if that exists, then do this. A lot of linters will want you to tighten that up and be like, oh no, you need to check to see if it's undefined. But then like a lot of people are like, screw that, I don't care. But basically I feel like this is a unit test only edge case. Is what I think right now. I could be wrong. This is definitely one of those times that I'm quite often wrong. Okay, so this, okay, so it doesn't break just by calling it on line 78 anymore, I don't think. I don't think it's worth looking. Oh wait, I think undefined actually might be truthy. Oh. Okay, so that did not fix the problem. Well, let's just do a refresh. I thought it rebuilt, but yeah, so that didn't fix the issue. I thought it did. I could have sworn we had this fixed. Okay, back to the error. So that did not fix the issue. Go to definition. All right, get mesh undefined. Okay, so let's see. If we remove this, I think the problem goes away. Saying that the injector has already been destroyed. Does this have like a, so get is the only thing? Okay, I'm going to console log the injector. So this is like a problem that historically in this project will take us a couple weeks to figure out. And then once we figure it out, we'll kind of probably find some knowledge, new knowledge, we'll learn something new, and we'll come up with like a way to fix it. And then once we've fixed it, we'll hit F12 from here. I believe we can do this. This is where you see the problems. Yeah, so this is our injector, and the injector is being run over and over and over again, and it's perfectly happy. Right? And it even has a get. I think there's like a try catch we can do. I've literally never done a try catch. So let's try this. Try, and I believe you. That's true. I think this might actually just do it for. Okay, so try, and then we're going to try to assign this. And catch. I've never ever done this before, so, and I've always wanted to do this, so this is fun. We're going to console log the error, which is going to screw up all of our unit tests, so I'm not going to leave it in there, because we already have all kinds of weird shit getting console logged. Error. And then st mesh service is equal to undefined. Let's see if that solves any issues. Now, I don't know, like this might get the test working again, but then cause the application to break. Don't know. Okay, so that's good. And so I think we have this, these are coming from that console log. See, we're seeing this console has all, so I feel like we should comment this one out. This is a very good chance that this is going to come back and bite us and break in the future. And if that does happen, then, you know, this commented out console log error will be good. But the problem is like you can't do this you can't commit code like this in a professional environment, unfortunately. All right. So now we can call that function without everything going bad. Now let's see. We want to say if st mesh service. And the thing is I believe undefined is actually truthy, but I can't remember. But you know what, let's just not equal to undefined. So if it's not equal to undefined, we're just going to run the code in there. So it is weird. Okay, so we are getting that. We're still getting that error, even though we're here. Injector has already been destroyed. Injector has already been destroyed. Well, and I don't know. I don't know if we're getting all the latest code. Oh, okay, we are not. So that was old code. All right. I think that's kind of another thing that people don't really like about Karma Jasmine is, you know, like sometimes the command line doesn't scroll. Is that Karma Jasmine's fault? Probably not. There's probably nothing on their side they've done. But they probably still take all the blame. All right. So boom, boom. Boom, boom. I don't think that's going to be a problem. I think I'm just trying to get wins now. Boom, boom. And so we don't even get in here if something's gone sideways with the injector, and that's not a big deal, like in the unit test. Now, if for some reason something's going sideways somewhere else, then that's a real problem. So now I want to go back. And just because this is the first catch I've ever done, I feel like I should. Okay, so I wonder if there's like a emoticon that's a good unit test. It's funny, I see that test. I think how I like to do this is like unit test error. So the unit test. Sometimes the injector is prematurely destroyed. And I felt like I'm in a bad spot because I'm pretty sure that's what's happening. It's getting destroyed. Angular is sort of missing some sort of, or Angular's thinking it's done and it's not. That's what I think is happening, but I'm not 100% sure on that. And I would like to figure that out. All right. All right. So now let's go back to our spec. Get rid of our FIT. Let's see. Oh. Nope. Not quite there yet. I wish we were there. Service. and again, like my confidence level on this fix is pretty low. Pretty sure that something, it's kind of like you're driving a car and you hear a little weird knock. You pull over, you look, try to figure out what it is. You can't see what it is. Drive again. And like then on that point, from that point on, you just sort of stay sort of like trying to remember. Trying to kind of keep an eye on it. You know, that's kind of where I'm at right now. Like there's something wrong. Just can't quite put my finger on it. And we'll see if the end-to-end tests sort of surface something. So now we go back to full-blown coverage, and we'll see if it breaks somewhere else on a similar. Oh, so that was that. Do I have everything? We have this thing. So it's very possible that because we do a similar thing in other places, it's very possible that we have problems somewhere else. Okay, so we have one failed test. We have two failed tests. We are not seeing anything. Oh, well, same thing. Must be called from factory. Okay, so this is different. And they're both in the dependency classes. We have three of them. All right, so let's start. I feel like we were already working on this one, so let's go ahead and just come in here. I think this is the one. I think the easiest way to do this will be to back up here. It wasn't 3 animation class, was it? ST animation deferred dependencies class. Let's see, all files. Is it this one? I think it's this one, which has 100% coverage, but looks like something's dying in here, right? Let's go back to this thing. So it's saying that in ST animation deferred dependencies class that, and it's good because this is the one that we were just messing with, that it can't. Function must be called. All right, so this is the right one. So let's go back, let's go to there and just kind of go through the same process again. And again, I don't really have high hopes for like that we're gonna figure, like that we're gonna understand things when we're done. Okay, so this thing literally is just supposed to see if the deferred is truthy. Oh, okay, and we're getting a very specific error. Okay, so anyways, let's do this. We only have one function here, one thing in here, so I'm just gonna say fdescribe. And I don't think we'll get 100% coverage at this point when we're in this mode. I think we need to reload. All right, so we have our one. We should have 0% coverage because we don't. Yeah, see, it gets called by others, but it says, hey, this inject function must be called from an injection context. And so my guess is, since this is just a regular class, we don't have an injection context. It's a private injector. So when it gets created, it's kind of weird though because we don't have a constructor. And see, this is just a regular class. So don't, like it's, I think it's upset because we're trying to call this injector line here. Let's see. See, I think we can actually completely comment out all this code because we're not even, like we're not even calling this function. So I think it's just literally because we're calling the injector, which is nice because if that is the case, then we should maybe be able to get help from ChatGPT on this. Okay, it is upset because line animation service get undefined. What? Okay, whatever. Let's just comment this out because it's just as good. I don't know what it's complaining about down there, but it's saying that I have that in the service itself. I guess it's just not compiling the whole application because in the service it does that. All right, so we have this. And the problem it's complaining about is, let's hit reload here. Can we see it here? We can't see it there because that's just the code coverage, is this. It says the injector token failed. Inject function must be called from injection context, such as a constructor, a factory function, filled initializer. Okay. So, I feel like, okay, what I want to do, I just want to delete this just for a second. Okay. I'm going to go to ChatGPT. I think it's hard to use ChatGPT right now. ChatGPT has gotten very, it's very fixated on like where your general ideas are leading you, or have potential of leading you, or something like that. I don't know exactly what's going on, but I am working on an Angular 21 application. Created a class that, and I am working on creating a unit test for a class. Jasmine Car. It is Jasmine Karma, and very simple. It works. Here is the class. And here's the error. Let's see. Error Angie 203. Token injection failed. Must be called for injection context. Find more at there. So we're so far off the reservation at the moment, the beaten path. We're just way, out in the wild right now. So, see what we get. Sometimes it gives you. I don't understand why it likes to correct you. Okay, yeah, I don't think it is Jasmine Karma being weird. Uses which only works when Angular has been set up in an injection context. So, in your unit test, okay, so let me show them the unit test. Or her, or whatever. Is that the right unit test? This does not feel like the right unit test. And why do I have a save? Oh, yeah, I did that for sure, too. Okay, something's weird. Where is my unit test? What unit test was I working on? Who am I? Where do I live? What's happening? Okay. ST animation. Oh, I was looking at the animation service spec, not the ST spec. Okay. So it says that inject function mode. And you something like this. Okay. This is what I have. Oh yeah, so that's exactly what I'm doing. New deferred class, yeah. That that bypasses Angular entirely, so there's no injection context. Yes, that is something to understand. To try to, this is a new concept for me. Why it works in the app. The real app is instantiating something, services. Fix, option one. Option one, the simplest. Okay, that's a stupid option. I'm sorry. And sorry, I don't mean to use rude language like that, but inside the injection. Okay, so this is probably use testbed. Private. Okay, so option two is created inside an injection context. Angular 14 plus, we can just create an instance of the class up here and then testbed and then run that, I guess. And then option three, make it an Angular injected class. Okay, I don't want that. See, this is actually what I'm trying to avoid. Then in the test, okay, yeah, I don't want that. Okay, so I would like option two. I like how it didn't say, okay. So my Carmen, okay, so we do need, so right now we're not doing anything, right? So we do need this. I agree with this. Now, the thing that is a little disappointing to me is I feel like I learned a little bit, but I didn't learn as much as I'd hoped. Okay, so then we have that, and then we want to do, in our describe, we want to create an instance of STAnimation class. And then we want to do a before each to put it in to the injection world. So like this is definitely like for me, it's just like I'm on a mountain and I see a beautiful little like plantation or orchard or something, just some gorgeous thing that's miles and miles away that I would love to go deal with, and this is not going to get me there. I mean, I don't think I'm going to get a chance to go look. Okay, why doesn't before each describe? Oh, I think that goes before the describes. Well, here it's showing it describe. Okay, why can't I do before each? Does it before each get? I don't know why it's not letting me. For each. Oh, okay, that's just the ID. Being a goofball. And so now we want our instance to be truthy. Let's see. All right, so what's going on? We are creating the class, but we're not trying to, we're just typing it, strongly typing it. And then before each one of them, we create a configure test module, and then we run the injection context, and then we create an instance, that we assign the instance, and then we do that. I would say that what I just described, I have about a 5, maybe 10% grasp of what's happening, but it's probably good enough. Okay, so now I think everything is working, but we need to undo. I thought I undid all that. Okay. think that is the actual same thing we had. Alright, so I think I have 2 more of these. I probably want to think about this. This is such a good, just a unique learning opportunity that I've never ever had. Okay, so we're good there. And so now let's go back to here, to this guy up here, and remove our F describe. And then this one will go up to 100% because we have things that, we have other code that uses this. Now we do not, okay, so we don't have anything that runs this with the error. Which I don't even know how we're going to do that. Okay, we're trying to force an error. And I guess, okay, so yeah, so it makes sense. And I've never done this before, but it looks like, I was kind of hoping to leave this for tomorrow, but I actually want to do this. What I want to do is create a function in here. And this function is going to okay. Actually, I think we're good. I don't think we want. I think it's already undefined. I've always wondered why people like consistently do not reassign down there just for the sake of readability. And yeah, now I get it, because like then you got to figure out what to do with how to get this, how to test this error state. Okay, so it's definitely not running it because that code doesn't even exist anymore. I guess it doesn't want to run it because of that. And let's hit reload. Okay, so man, look how many times this thing gets called in these tests. 309 times this gets called in these tests. But now we're down to 2 errors. They're the same exact issue. I definitely want to have the night to think through all of this because I feel like this was an extremely useful thing. Now actually, do we even need this try catch anymore? We probably don't even need the try catch. And that happens all the time where you like have some big fix and then once you figure out how to get the test to work, you don't even need this anymore. Let me, can I just Control Z all the way back to our original, very original. Do I even need that? I don't even think I need this anymore. So that animation spec probably needs to get, well, there was some code that calls this that we were using. Let me see if I can refresh. Yep, okay, so we only have the 2 breakages, and that's these 2, and we know that all we need to do to get that to work is actually put it in what they call an injection context in the test. Use the test bed to create an injection context so that this thing can be run in. It has to be, okay, I guess that makes sense. So this function has to be run when the injector exists. If it doesn't exist, it won't work. In our unit test, we aren't creating an injection context, so it was failing. But all we had to do is update the unit test to create an injection context, so to do something like this. And ChatGPT was absolutely awesome in this. Okay, so testbed does exactly what your failing test did. It creates a temporary angular injection context. Inside the function inject works normally. The class is instantiated as if Angular had created. Small but important. If your class ever starts injecting more things, then you'll need to register providers. Interesting. So things is the piece that I'm not quite. So I don't know if this is because of that. Oh, I see. So it's saying that like if I'm using, yeah, so if I'm just using things that are just floating around, so like the HTTP client or something like that, then I need to add it to the providers. But if I was just, I think if I was just to create another function, which is probably what I believe I would do normally, if I just said like get whatever other service, then I would not need to do that because this is getting it up here. I think. I don't know. It's good stuff. That was kind of my first time I've ever been sort of around that kind of thing. Anyways, happy coding, everybody. Have a wonderful day. Bye.